Joining me now is acting DHS or former acting DHS Deputy Secretary Ken Cuccinelli. Now, nowhere did I hear President Biden say what specifically he would do to address the border. Ken, is this an administration that's basically stuck its head in the sand, hoping the problem would just go away?
Oh, no question. This is an ostrich strategy entirely. But look, it's also intentional. As much as they want to blame it on President Trump, President AMLO of Mexico really ripped the clothes off that emperor. We can all see, because he is ideologically much more aligned with Biden. You wouldn't expect him to just try to help Trump out. And yet he said very clearly where the fault lies with this. But it is not unintentional. They invited all these people to come across the border on purpose. At the same time, they're putting amnesty bills through the Congress. At the same time, they want to pass a voting bill that will register many people, regardless of whether they're citizens or not, on the rolls, and punish state officials for checking. So
you feel like
this is all connected.
You feel like this is a political endgame, then, in order to get some of the Democratic initiatives through? Is that?
Long term, not short term. It's connected to some of the other legislation going on, but this is a long-term play for votes, they believe, and they are completely overwhelmed. This was predicted and predictable. We told them it would happen during the transition over and over and over. So they knew what was coming. They knew this is not a surprise, as shocking as it looks. And for all of their mouthing of how committed to transparency they are about as complete in terms of covering all this up as they can be. They're not letting any of you all into these facilities. I noticed a Washington Post report today about them letting one camera into an HHS facility, not a DHS facility, not Customs Border Protection, which are really the facilities you want to see because of just how record-breakingly overwhelmed they are by these Biden policies.
And that was one of the newer facilities that they're letting folks into, the newer ones that was built. So feasibly, probably pretty well set up.
Trying to make it look as good as they can.
Exactly. So there's a fairly easy fix to this, though, isn't there? Because in 2018 and 2019, we didn't see hundreds of thousands of people trying to cross illegally a month.
No, we most certainly didn't. In 1 month we did, in May of 2019, and I wouldn't say it's simple to solve the problem, but all the solutions were in place, and they ripped them all out quite intentionally. I mean, they literally ripped up and shredded a dozen international agreements we had with Mexico and the Central American countries that together, and those agreements working together, and our 5 countries really working together, put a major dent in illegal immigration. In 2020, there were no caravans. 0 came to the U.S. border. 0. And now it's continuous because of the Biden reception they're getting. Heck, they're showing up in Biden T-shirts. They're carrying Biden flags. Right. It is very obvious why this is happening. And the administration undermines their own credibility on every issue by staring straight into the camera and saying there isn't a crisis and we didn't cause this and this is just a normal surge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you all reported very accurately on one of the really unfortunate downsides. This is all fueling the drug cartels, the most evil, vicious people in the Western Hemisphere that undermine entire governments are being funded by the Biden effect.
Yeah, I want
you didn't. If I could make one more point.
Yeah.
You talked about the people coming across the border they're directing, and the CBP gets occupied. It isn't just that they send other people elsewhere, it's with drugs. So they get to expand their drug processing across the border as well.
Yeah, so the focus is in one area and they're doing something else over here. Right. I want you to listen to something.
Exactly.
Here's Kamala Harris's approach on the border. Listen to this.
While we are clear that people should not come to the border now, we also understand that we will enforce the law.
Now, enforce the law, doesn't that seem like that's what Trump was trying to do there?
Yeah. They define, listen to her Secretary of DHS, he defines enforcing immigration law as inhumane. They use that word inhumane to mean enforcing immigration law. And you tell me, when you get a look inside these facilities with children sprawling all over each other and crying and all the rest, you tell me which approach is more inhumane. That's why they won't let you see inside those facilities. Democrat Henry Cuellar talked to many of these migrants, now famously, and he asked them, did you hear from the Biden people that they wanted you to come? Oh, yes, that's what we heard. Did any of you hear from them that they don't want you to come now? Silence. Right. No one. That's from a Democrat. So to hear Kamala Harris make those sorts of comments, we're telling them not to come, that is phony baloney, purely packaged for the American media market. That's all it's for.
Ken Cuccinelli, I really appreciate your time on this. This is a story we will be following.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.